So within the art community, there has been quite a bit of a debate going on. I've been seeing this on social media, mixed on some forums, but mostly on Twitter, and it's all because of this furry furball right here, the Pyromane. In this video, I'm going to go over 3 of the major points that I've come across from both sides, and see if either the community is being a little bit over dramatic of the new tame, or maybe we should be a bit more worried when it comes to ARC with future DLC. But also at the end say my opinion about the Pyromane. So without further ado, let's dive straight into the Pyromane debate. Let's get this first point out of the way that is used a lot for the Pyromane, that being its pay to win. Now I'm not going to say this creature is perfectly balanced or it's not OP, because it is OP. But I do want to say I feel like there are some parts of this creature that are overlooked, that being its major weakness, that is water. If you don't know, if the Pyromane is in water or rain, it kind of becomes a bit useless, losing some of its passives and mix of its other abilities, and it's a creature that can be found on a map that's mostly water or rains pretty often. Now, this is me saying this makes a Pyromane imbalanced. Not even close. Even this does create a weakness for the Pyromane. The Pyromane is still just very strong. For me personally, this creature needs way more drawback than just not being good in water. I think instead of it having its meter, it should have an overheat mechanic where if you use its abilities too much, it will be unable to use its abilities. This could prevent abilities from both forms, like the flamethrower ability, flame burst, or flame trail ability, or even can prevent it from swapping in between. I feel like a creature that has a lot more going on with it and is a creature you have to pay for to get should have more weaknesses than normal creatures to make it fairly balanced, especially if it's as strong as the Pyromane. This one's going to be kept short because there isn't really too much to say. This thing's motto is just a Shadowmane but with different texture and effects. It even has a natural armor just like the Shadowmane does. But I do want to say at the start, I just thought this creature just looked somewhat similar to the Shadowmane just because most felines kind of look similar in a way. It's just that they have different fur patterns most of the time. But also I do want to say it's kind of weird if you think about it, that we kind of only have lion-like felines in ARC. Like the Sabertooth, like the mane, and both the Shadowmane and the Pyromane both have some kind of form of manes. That either being fire or it's weird organic looking one instead of being regular fur. I do kind of wish they instead made the Pyromane more like a tiger or something more unique. A feline that we don't really have in ARC. This one's definitely the other big one that's being talked about is the Pyromane's price. Some people are saying it's too expensive for one creature, others saying it's reasonable for a creature to be that price. And I would say I'm a bit more against it rather than with it. Some people may call me a little bit of a hypocrite because I purchased the Anomalous Kairos mod, and that is also a $5 creature. Well, I can tell you why the Anomalous Kairos should be $5 and why the Pyromane should be less. The thing about the Anomalous Kairos is that it's a premium mod, so it's going to be somewhere between $2 to $5, the tiers they have. Now there's the $10 to $15 tier, but I feel like no creature, no matter what, should be that expensive on its own. But the Anomalous Kairos mod was something I first thought was a bit pricey for one creature. But the thing is, I knew that at least 50% of the profits this mod made will go straight to the mod creator, and they can use that money for themselves and even help work on future projects. Now, ARC themselves do get a little bit of a cut of this money, that'd be 25%, and the rest goes to CurseForge, I believe. But for them to have a creature they would put as the same tier as a premium creature mod, and all they did is kind of took assets of their existing creatures and gave it new abilities, just feels wrong to me. If I had to put a price on the Pyromane, at most it'll be $3 for me. But I also do want to say, I doubt all the people have been saying that we'll probably be spending $50 on new creatures. I feel like they're just spreading misinformation since we don't have any evidence yet that's gonna happen. And as for now, it seems like all these new teams are gonna be for more of the custom arcs, that being the Center, Ragnarok, Valguero, Crystal Isles, Lost Islands, and Fjordur. So I'd possibly be spending about $30 for new teams, which isn't too bad. But I do understand there will be also some frustration since recently they released a Bob Tall Tales pack, and that will contain a bunch of new content and also new creatures. So for them to release another wave of DLC DLC feels a little scummy in a way. But there's also some who think this creature should have just been for free, and I don't agree with that at all. ASA is probably going to be worked on for the next couple of years, and with each map release, they're going to have to worry about adding at least one new creature that the community has voted for. So for them adding an additional creature they made, if you want to spend the money on, I can see somewhat reasonable. Now, is a Pyromane something we should be worried about when it comes to Arc? I feel like it is. If they plan on making more DLC creatures that uses assets sharing the same models and animations of previous creatures from Arc, then ASA is heading into a not good path. But I guess the bigger question is, should you get the Pyromane? While I do not like the feeling telling someone who should spend their money on, since it feels a little weird for me to say, here are my recommendations. But if you're like me who plays more PvE or single player, don't care too much of how much a creature looks like a reskin of a previous existing one, then I would recommend it. But if you're more of a PvP player, I would say for the sake of fairness, I won't recommend getting it. For me, I like how unique the Pyromane kind of is with its abilities, but wishes it was way less pay to win of a creature and uses a lot less assets to become its very own creature. One last thing I want to mention, and it's a bit of a off topic of the Pyromane, but it's something I noticed and has made me wonder quite a bit. One thing I found out while doing some digging is the fact that the Pyromane and Oasis may have not been originally planned to be DLC creatures we would have gotten for ASA. My only evidence for this is that from all the previous ARC votes during the submission phase, here's this little sentence. As previously stated, we'll be adding an additional real world creature for each expansion pack map released on ARC Ascended. So where is this real dino that they stated? Will they be added in the future for free, or will they be in another additional pack we'll have to worry about paying for? But my most likely guess is that there was a change of directions, and now ASA is doing way more fantasy-based creatures. But that's gonna wrap today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, hit that like button if you're new to the channel. And that subscribe button, that would be appreciated. And let me know your opinions about the Pyromane and how this could be a worrying for the future of Arc Ascended. If I can know the answer up to the majority of it, but I would also like to hear. But I'll see you in the next one. Peace out and have a good one.